Good afternoon. Let me let everybody kind of get in. Let me pull up chat on my phone and we'll get started. I may end up switching my day because I don't know if Fridays this time is going to work or not when I have to go to school. But we'll sort of play it by ear and see. All right, so I have chat. So I've been doing these abstract landscapes inspired by mixed media art by Trina. So I'm looking for some more tissue. I've gone through what I'd already done. So I thought today I'd work on building up my stash. I've been using that one stamp that I made that looks like this. And I used a Stencil Girl stencil and traced on here and then carved it. So I was looking through my stash. I want to make some more. I've got some more I ordered, but I thought I would look through my stencils and make some more tissue in some of those kind of landscape colors that would be like grass or water or rocks. And then I also got some mark making stencils out. So I just thought I'd kind of do that a little bit. And I'm just using my 5x7 jelly plate. And so what I've been doing is I don't get real good ghost prints because it dries so quickly in my room here. So I'm doing one print with a stencil. And I just cut up some medical tissue in smaller sizes. Removing any extra paint. So I'm working in grays and browns, greens. Just gonna make sure I've got all those areas as clean as I can get them. All right, and this one, I think I'm gonna pick up with a blue. I should probably switch my why is it not? My chat's not coming up on here. So I'm just going to do a little blue and do a cleanup. And I'm not putting very much paint on the second one. I just got a stack of medical tissue that I cut ahead of time. There it goes. It looks different. And I'm just using this to kind of clean up areas where I just tore it, cut it. I'm just trying to get some, because I'm going to tear these up and use them. So I'm just trying to get something that could look, and I'm going with stencils that are more abstract. Let's see, let's do, this reminds me of water. Let's go with a blue. I guess I'll put that a little bit over here. Hope everybody had a great week. I went back to school sub Tuesday and today. So it was fun to see the kids and my friends, my colleagues. All right, so I'll put that aside. And then on that, I think I'll do like a turquoise blue. So it'll be a blue on blue. I have to say these types of stencils have become my favorite, that you can just do a bit or a piece of them. They're not real symmetrical. And it's hard to see, but there is some, just a little bit. And if there's areas that there's not, I can always add some stenciling back into it. And I'm going to tear these up and use pieces. So let's see. The next one, let's use. Hi, Belinda. Hello to everybody up in the clouds. Use a little macrodome. They're a little blue on my brayer, so I'm getting a little bit of a gray tinge, which I don't dislike. I'm going to let that one sit there. Add a little bit of this one. But I'm thinking, I don't know if I keep Fridays, I might come on a little bit later. It's hard to say. See, I like that, picked up some of that blue and really got some grungy areas. Take that off. And let's just use a cream. Actually, let's use a really light gray to pick that up. Oh, that had a lot of still left on my brayer, but I think it'll be good. think I'm going to roll what's left on there off on a piece of tissue. And set that aside to use it here in a few minutes. And again, they're pretty subtle. Now there's a little spot in here, but I'm not, like I said, I'm going to tear these up. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go. I'm going to put something on top of this. Let's go sap green. I like these smaller 6x6 stencils because the scale is good versus some of the bigger stencils. Yeah, that's not bad. Let that dry. Let's pull that green off. Let's go. Let's go with the turquoise. This bottle's almost gone. Just a little bit more. That dry a little bit. Save that. We'll put something on that. Not bad. Again, there's some areas that didn't have as much, but let's do. This is almost gone. This is Prussian blue. see, I think that'll be good because you could either use this part right here like rocks, but you could also use this. Let's do the light gray. And maybe a little bit of that turquoise. Get something to roll that off on a little bit. It's pretty sure there wasn't much on there. Let that sit for a few minutes. Yeah, I like this stencil too. I like this right in here, and I like you can use this part of it. I like how I can, just use the squares. In fact, the next time maybe I'll just use the squares in that. And all of these, I think all of these are Stencil Girl. Oh yeah, that one turned out really nice. Let's do the dark brown. A little bit of blue in there. Fine. Let's do the stones. And the white part will go translucent. And this has some real pretty, there's like you can pick up some of the shades of blue in here when you look up close. That's pretty light. I'm just going to go with the cream, I think. Yeah, that one turned out really nice too. All right. I need to tear some more of the medical tissue. That piece didn't feel very good, but I just cut it up into pieces. I like this because it's less expensive. Now, that piece is already pretty small. Okay. Gives us a couple little pieces to use as cleanup. Set that aside. Let's go with a light brown. Kind of a desert color. I'm going to go with let me let that sit there for a minute. I had a new package of paper. Let me get a piece of white paper. Right. Something to brayer on. That's good. Take that off because that's real light. I think I'm just going to go with the cream. And I think I'll throw in a little of this green. Trying to use up some of these bottles. They're almost empty. Like that brayer paper where it's going. Oh, that turned out nice. All right, let's do one more of this. Let's see if we can get any more of the, yeah. Prussian blue. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to do something with that in a few minutes. All right, and then this is the tree stencil. I'm going to take one of these little stencils, sprayers, try to really get in to those crevices. Oh, like that. All right, let's let that. I think I'll do some of the gray, light gray. And I think I'll use some of that green again. Those are short. That's a little longer. There's a slick side on this, and there's a side that's not. It's got more texture. Okay. Set that aside. Oh, that one's pretty. And I like that sometimes like the two colors don't mix. So you have like a little green and blue here and then more gray here. There's some differences. All right. I'm going to put those stencils up real quick. And switch to more mark making stencils. And I think I'm going to use my jelly plate more as a palette. Hi, Stephanie. All right, so these are stencils that have, like this one has a lot of different shapes. I don't always use all of them. I'm gonna get some of, I'm gonna use some of that Prussian blue. So I'm gonna just get a cosmetic sponge. And just add these little X's to this scrap piece. Okay. They're pretty subtle. Can't always tell they're X's, but it's good enough for me. All right. On this one, I really like these. And I'll tear these up and not use all of it. But I'll just, every once in a while, I'll print a bunch of this on tissue and stick it in my stash so that I can use it. I don't care if the same pattern is on the same piece of tissue because I'm going to tear it up. This is another one I got out. Usually I do these in like navy, black, colors that are gonna pop. I do like red and or orangish coral color also. There's a little bit left on here. This one has several little stitch-like markings. And I'll tear them apart. I don't use them in their entirety. I'll tear pieces and use them. But then I don't have to stencil directly on the piece. I can try it and audition it and move it around before I glue it and commit. So, like I probably won't necessarily, but I might use those three. I might use this little bit. So again, I'll tear that up, cut that up. Let's get another. This is two skinny pieces. All right, let's go with, I'm going to add brown to where I had that Prussian blue. And like this is one I really like, but I don't like it on the, it's hard to use on the jelly plate. It's kind of a crackle, eggshell like effect. Yeah, this is they're all so far. All the ones I've used are Stencil Girl. The This one here is definitely, and I know this is Stencil Girl. A lot of these are club stencils because that's really how I amassed so many stencils. Is Stencil Girl has a program where you get stencils every month for $25. And you used to get one large, one 6x6, and one 4x4, but they've kind of switched it up. But once you're a member of, and so I'll just leave those like that. And this paper, I might end up tearing up and using too. That you can go back and order previous club stencils. You can go and look. All right, I want a gray for this next one. This one is not Stencil Girl. This one I got in a set off Amazon. Still a little blue in the sponge. So I'm getting a little bit of a blue gray, which is fine with me. I like that. And again, I would just tear up a piece of this. Now, this one is part of that set that I put in the last video and linked. That included well, because I'm looking for it, can't find it, and I just saw, oh, this one. It included this one right here that I've been using a lot. It was a set of, I want to say 6, and the link is in the video from my last stream. Let's do another. This is another Stencil Girl. I'm going to put some black out to go with that gray. Still a little blue in the stencil, so I'm getting a real nice slate gray. Let's see. Okay. That filled up that one. That'll work. Yeah, because, yeah, me too. And they're not very expensive. They're way, and that company, I'm sure, is in China. Okay, this one's a little stencil. That works. Add a little, I've got a little bit more black, just about out of that stuff. And then I think I'm going to switch to some of the browns. Yeah. This one's got so little. It works better actually with the Distress Oxide and if you use these kind of brushes. But for what I'm doing right now, I don't really want the Distress Oxide because it's not. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to close up some paints here. Use that one. Keep that one. All right, let's get, probably going to get a new stencil. Quinacridone, yellow oxide. I'll probably go with the brown again a little bit. This is a Tim Holtz the next two. And this is also a Tim Holtz. That'll work if I'm working in neutrals. I am going to add some burnt sienna. It's a little more opaque. I really like this one with the little X's. I use it a lot. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Beth. Let's see. Let's put those up. There's another. Tim Holtz one. This is a mini. And I don't worry about like little bits like that. Because again, I'm going to tear these up. I'm not going to use them in their entirety. That'll work. Do some more of this one. That's good. All right, let's switch. I'm looking for one that I thought I got out, but I didn't. That one. That one. That's the one. Right next to it again. Yeah, this is the ones that look like tags are Tim Holtz. I'm going to set this one aside because I'm going to do something to that in just a minute. This one is also Tim Holtz. And I don't tend to use it, and I tear them up. So I may use like a row of 3 or just randomly tear. I can get another row over here. Again, I don't worry about like, because I might just use, you can use a wet paintbrush to tear it a little easier if you need to. So I'll probably use that, maybe like that. I'll use them in abstract pieces. And then when I'm working, I'll just dig through when I need a little pop. And right now I'm trying to think in terms of, like I said, abstracts, landscapes. I don't even know where this one came from. It came in a set. It's really old. But these work well with like these colors work well with like a neutral palette, or if I'm doing like cream teal, I like that little pop. And again, I'll just take a part of it, not taking the whole thing. I think let's do a little. I've got some paint still. I don't know where the edge of my tissue is right now. So that would work like, you know, for rocks or something. All right, let's use up the rest of this paint. I'm just using up the rest of the paint on this. Right, there's a little bit of paint there. I think I'm gonna braid it out, add a little cream. I don't know what we'll get here, but we're gonna do something with these in just a minute. Rare. I'll save all these little pieces that I didn't use because a lot of times I'll stamp on them. Okay, that turned out really nice. There's still some left here that didn't want to come off. So I think I'm just going to throw some gel medium in that corner where it didn't stick. And put this back on there for just a few minutes. I'll do something with this and these and this in just a minute. That came out pretty cool. Just little pieces of that. I'm going to put my jelly plate up. All right. So I have some of these Lindy's squirts. They're kind of like the Magicals. I'm trying to get rid of them. I don't care for, I prefer the Magicals or the sprays. All right, and I'm going to get a spray bottle and a wet brush. I had some that I had done like this that were paint. And the rust, and I really liked it. So, but this time I'm just going to do the Magicals, and they'll have a little bit of shimmer to that. I'll set that to dry. I'm going to go in and add the turquoise to this. The paint will act as a resist. I like to stencil in white or cream and use Magicals a lot. I don't always use like colored acrylic. Put the turquoise away. Get a piece of paper towel. And so that'll get torn up and be used in pieces. If I were doing, say, if I were doing an animal, I might do something and use that. But I'll probably use it, like I said, in a landscape, like water, to represent like water and rocks. Hi, Dot. It is late there for you, isn't it, Dottie? Like 10? All right, so this is a brayer paper. There's 2 of them. Let's take, the turquoise is almost gone. The red and the gold. And make kind of an orange color. And again, I'm just going to move that around. When the Lindy's dries, it's permanent, so this won't reactivate. You can also take, if you want to reveal some of your original paint color, you can wipe back with a baby wipe, and where your acrylics are, if there's something sitting on top of it, it'll come off. But that'll be a pretty grunge. I would probably use this more in an abstract, not necessarily an abstract landscape, but I might. 11, yeah. I knew it was getting late. All right, let's get rid of the red. This is blue. Let's use the blue and the gold. Well, actually, we don't want the blue and the gold. We don't want the gold. Maybe a little. It's kind of green on green. Throw some red on one end. I don't like the red by itself. I tend to like it more as an orange color. Now on your magicals, you can get all kinds of colors. I have one other color over here. This is a moon shadow. It's like a brown. And I'm not going to use this piece of paper as a whole, so I don't mind that there's different colors in different areas. And again, I can take the baby white, spray it with water, pull back, and reveal the paint. Like I said, these are the Lindy squirts. They're okay. It's not my favorite applicator. I really like that right in here. This would probably maybe need some stencil on it. So I guess I'll just go with the same one we've used. I'm going to cut this sponge, and I'm going to get like a winter white. Because it's damp, I might want to stencil over it a couple times. in some areas to darken it. Just using a baby wipe to kind of pull back to. Get it a little more random. Yeah, see, I like that better because there's a little pattern. And again, I'm not using this as one piece. I'm going to use bits and pieces. Let me dry that a little bit. I mean, I might just cut off a circle of this if I need it just that color. Or, but a lot of times I'll tear in on it because I want a piece of this that has, or I want just that piece. Punch a circle. And so I just have a whole stash of, and I would say that that could use the same kind of treatment. Um, and these, I'm probably not going to do anything with those big open areas. So I'll use a baby wipe sometimes to control that. So here's just a little area of that. I might say, oh, I don't really like it. So I'll reduce it, push it back, take it off. You can't do too much on this really thin paper. It has a little haze to it. Sometimes I'll decide when I'm doing something. This is just copy paper. It was a brayer paper. Hi, Judy. It was brayering when I was jelly printing. I was jelly printing pieces of tissue and stuff for the abstracts. So I had some replenished my stash. So just in blues, browns, grays, some greens. kind of the neutrals that I've been working in. And like I said, these were brayer. I had 2 brayer papers that I'd made. And this was when I was stenciling. I was using it under the tissue. All right, so I have one other thing that I want to prep, that I need to prep again, and I'll show you how I do that. Switch gears. Brush out of there before I forget. All right, so this is just a sheet of deli paper. And I'm going to get the Neo 2s. You can use the oil pastels. I think the oil pastels leave marks maybe a little better. And I'm literally just going to scribble some of the Neo 2. You can blend colors. I'm looking just for like a turquoise colors, watercolors. Okay, so that's good. I think I'm going to go. Last time I did it, it was like 3s, but I did a little bigger area. Reds and orange. This one's broken. I'm just trying to get a liberal coverage. Go into a brighter yellow. Again, I'm not worried about complete coverage. And then what I've been doing is folding them in half, and then I cut and store them just like that. Like I said, the other thing you can use besides, well, you could use Scribbles, Jane Davenport. The other thing is I've been using oil pastels. So let's do like one that's just black. And I could probably work on top of a piece of regular paper and get a little smoother. All right, let's do a terracotta burnt sienna. Again, I'm trying to stay in those landscape colors. And brighter on one end. And then let's do don't have a dark gray. Let's do kind of a purpley magenta. Bye, Belinda. Pink in there. Maybe even a little orange. That's about all that's gonna. And then again, I just hold it so it's between the two layers of wax. And I've been cutting them. And the way I've been using these is, let me get an old one. Take a dotting tool. And you can add really small marks to your work. You could use it as a starting place. You could use it to add accents. Now, I will say that if you get a little too ambitious, they do tear. The other thing I've done, now these are not waterproof, so they're kind of at the end. The other thing I have done is if I want to add a little bit of color, I have gone to the and used it kind of like a palette. And picked up some of the color to make a wash in an area that I wanted something. These have been used. I think you could also spray them. You don't have to use a dotting tool. Like this is just the end of a paintbrush. This one's torn up, so I'll probably throw it away. Like I said, this one. You can see it makes really good marks. But it's a really good way to add little work drawing marks to a piece towards the end. And so just having that little stash sitting to the side, and I can just dig through, and it's already, where if I tried to take this to the piece, I can't make as fine a line. So the dotting tool or the edge of your palette knife or something like that, a ballpoint pen, they just give you that fine. I mean, because you could. I don't want to use one of my new ones. I want to use one of the. Here, I'll use this black one that's old. You could just use a ballpoint pen too. That paper's wet. I'll throw that one away because it's torn. So you don't have to have a dotting tool. I just happen to have some. And I just have a little stash that I have to the side. And that's kind of how I've been making the pieces for the abstracts that I've been doing. I did get some new paper. I got some Fabiano 1264 9x12. I only gessoed one side just so it wouldn't buckle as much. There's probably some gesso on this side. So let's grab watercolors and see how it takes. I didn't want to actually gesso both sides. I wanted to see how it absorbed. It's not buckling too bad. Like I said, there's just gesso on the one side. There might be some piece from the table. There could be. Try. Neutral tint. Let's take some back off. I think I need to mark it because this paper is really hard to tell. That's definitely got gesso on it. Let that dry and I'll do something with that later. It's not buckling too bad. Let's see. Like I said, it didn't buckle too bad. If I was using acrylic, I would have gessoed both sides to keep it flatter. I think once I dry it, there's not too much curl or warp. Because I'm going to add some collage and that to it. I think this one too will flatten fairly well. I don't know how I use that. This one I think I'll use this way, probably. It's hard to say. Usually the next thing I do is add some collage. That's where I go into the tissues and the papers that I made and tear a piece. So I might take a piece of this and glue it right in like here. And then maybe take a smaller piece and glue it in there. And for this, I typically use glue stick. I'll add gel medium to it later, but I like to tack it down and keep the gel medium off the paper so that if I want to add more water media, I can. So that's a start, and then let's get something. Okay. Take a little bit of that blue on my brush. Just adding some blue in. All right, and let's do let's build a little like city scene. I don't want that one. I'll let the glue dry and I'll use it later. I'm going to overlap those a little. Let's take this one and give it an interesting roof angle, like high rises. And again, let's overlap this one. This will be in a mat, so I think I'll put this just to add some different weight of lines. Almost like a fence. All right, let's see if we want. I think that's all the collage we want. Now we want to add some marks. I'm going to set this one to the side. I do want to add this a little bit. And this may not all show up because, again, when you mat it, not everything shows up. Okay. I'm going to do a circle punch with this paper, and it's got magicals on it, so it has some silvery shimmer to it. dropped. There it is. I have a fan under my desk, and that is. Now I might go a size up, maybe. This has several assorted circle sizes. Let's try it. And I'll save that because I'll use that. I think I like that slightly bigger. And I'll save all those circles in my little drawer that's got gray. Now I'm going to get a mat real quick. So I'll probably put that there. So I'm thinking I'll put the little moon here. Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to look like an abstract city, exactly. When I saw the grid stencil, that's what I thought I could build, like have little buildings. Okay. Here's a blue. So I just added some marks in that river area. Perfect. Let's get the green. And add some. See that tore because it was sticky. But and if I decide I want to soften that, I can add some water. I want to just using the end of the brush. I think I want to add some blue in here that I don't have. And I'm going to get it wet and sort of soften it. I don't have enough blue. I can go to the paper. Take a paper towel or a dryer brush. Kind of soften that. Take the rust. Trying to get some of this rust in some places like a reflection of the buildings. See, I'm picking up some of that. It wasn't glued down very well. Let's try the brush and some water. So you can just use this like a palette. This is got it on Amazon. Echo. Give me just a minute. I can look it up in my history because I bought it on. All right, let me look that up real quick. I can just search my orders. Punch. Should come up if I put punch. Let's try circle, die. No, let's just try circle. No. Circle. Punch. EK Tools. This isn't it, but it's EK Tools. Let's see. I just put in EK Tools. May not have it on Amazon right now. But it's EK is the brand. And they have some that have like multiple, like here's confetti hydrangeas. And I paid about $20. I'm surprised it didn't come up in my search. EK Circle Punch. See, because there's the flowers pieces. Confetti dot punch. That's what it's called. Here's Amazon. Give me just a second. I'll put the link in chat. And again, like I said, it's about a $19 punch. It's EK Confetti. It's been a really good punch. All right. Why do we have a white spot right there? I need some more blue. And if you do scratches and then you come back with other, see how the liquid brought the scratches out? If you scratch that paper with the tool and then you use a liquid, it will often bring those scratches out. All right, so now I need to add some gel medium. It's got twisted. There we go. All right, so let's put all this away. This one I'm going to throw away because I've really used up. This one's torn. I think I'll keep it. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of gel medium because all that collage needs to be glued down. I don't like that. I'm scratching on that paper. I want to try some more of that Lindy's. I don't like that really, like there's a harsh line in there. That, I think that helps soften that. I have a little bit of left over that Lindy's blue, so let me just put it on here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think this one I could call done. Throw that away. Let's let it dry a little faster. Make sure I get that stuff out of these brushes. All right, so yeah, I'm fixing to go to Judy. And again, when it's more dry, it'll flatten. Not more dry. When it's drier, it'll flatten. Probably something like that. Could go a little more like this too. I kind of like that text down here, which I've lost. So you could even, have less building. But I'll probably just maybe when it's dry, add in a little more text in this area. Would probably be my solution. So that's a little higher up. And then there'd be more text visible. In that river. So it's just in the whole river that way. I would definitely want to tack that down with some gel medium, or it'll come up. So that way I can get more of that movement of that text. So I'll probably mat it something like that. But thanks for hanging out and watching. I may come on next Friday a little later. I hope everybody has a great evening. I hope you can take some of the ideas from today and apply them to your own projects. But thanks for watching.